Y'all, I had to wake up Miss Tulip because she hasn't paid rent this beautiful month, and so the way she pays rent is by either giving me meows or showing up in my thumbnails, so that's why she's sleepy. Hey girl. Hello my beautiful Aquarius, how are you doing? My name is SimplyVelca and I'm going to be doing your weekly love reading between you and your soulmate. Now, I also do your weekly general reading, Aquarius, which I'll leave a link to over here if you'd like to check that out at some point. But when it comes to any of my readings, rely on your intuition because put it in perspective, Aquarius. I'm just a man reading some tarot cards to you. You know your situation better than I ever possibly could, so take the cards that resonate and leave what doesn't, because I promise you I'm not going to be offended by it. If you find some cards that resonate with you, be sure to leave me a like and subscribe because it does help out my channel a lot, and I always am super appreciative when you guys take the time to do that for me. And then also, finally, be sure to let me know in the comments below what card called out to you the most. I cannot apparently speak, Aquarius, my gosh, apologize ahead of time. But that's how I keep up with y'all, is through the comments of hearing how the cards pertain to you in your life. And then lastly, this is just to give you some perspective, hopefully, Aquarius. I'm not here to make a decision for you because it is ultimately your life to live and not mine. So hopefully this tarot reading just gives you some perspective and to assist you in making a decision in your life. So let's just get into it now. On the overall energy that we have between you and your person is the Strength card and the Nine of Swords. So this is definitely a week of where your person is going to be bringing out a lot in you. I feel it's going to be triggering a lot in you. Anytime that I see the Strength card come in, I always say this is like the shadow work card. But it's almost as if this is a addressing some type of anxiety that's, I feel like for some of you Aquarius has been bubbling inside for quite a long time. This is maybe this issue started even before this person was in the picture, perhaps. When you have the Nine of Swords, Aquarius, that's where it's letting me know of where this has just been haunting you. This has been, you know, some would say maybe a insecurity of yours. Let's just use the example of like abandonment issues because that is just such a popular thing amongst people, right? Something that most of us can relate to on some level. And so maybe something this week, Aquarius, something has happened with you and your person that's like started triggering this in you. This doesn't have to be necessarily a bad thing though, because connections in our life should be triggering something in you. I do like this energy though, just because it's kind of just forcing you to look at yourself, forcing you to grow in some type of aspect. You know, you're kind of you're forced to finally address these anxieties rather than continue to have it just bubble up inside of you. So let's just start getting into the energy of things. On your side of things, Aquarius, we have the Empress card coming in. And this is why I'm saying, like, I really like that you're being triggered this week. Now, I know, Aquarius, a lot of people would just be like, what is it, like, why would you ever want to just be upset and triggered in the first place, right? Ideally, you want in your connections with people to just have it be nice and pleasant, but that's not realistic, right? I always say connections, friendships, and all that should be simple, but they should force you to grow in some type of aspect and challenge you and challenge your ways, your mindset, you know, all the time, in my opinion, because it's just like we're all growing and we're all constantly, you know, having to just like look at stuff in ourselves. We all have experienced trauma in our lives, right? Now, the Empress card comes in as like the sign of growth. So even though I see you being really overwhelmed with the overall energies when it pertains to this person this week, Aquarius, you're still actively growing. The clarifier that I pulled from it is where it's just like the growth only happened through this pain. So Aquarius, this is kind of like one of those times where I kind of have to suggest to you to write this out, to kind of take this time where you're experiencing these emotions and kind of just sit with them and thrive with them for a while. At least that's what I'm getting, just from this first impression of the tarot. Just because it's, I don't know, I feel like this is such a essential thing for you to be addressing in terms of this connection should you want it to flourish anymore, Aquarius. But let's look on their side of things as well. They have the Four of Pentacles. So this person's staying right here, Aquarius. Like, you know, if we're going along with a narrative from before where you're having like abandonment issues, I don't know what's going on with them in their physical life, Aquarius. But when you have this Four of Pentacles, this person's sitting fancy, like where it is that they are. They're happy with where it is that they're putting their investments. You know, the World card is showing to me that they're thinking long-term and that they're not expecting immediate results, right? You know, if you're putting stock in something, you don't immediately expect in like 2 minutes to make thousands of dollars back, right? It just doesn't normally work that way, right? Watch for someone to come in and correct me. But, you know, it's with that energy of where it's like, you're experiencing like this abandonment issue, but at least mentally or energetically, however much that helps you, Aquarius, they're here to stay. And so this is why I feel like it's so good for you to address this pain that you're going through, address this anxiety that you're going through, Aquarius, because it's like this person, whoever it is, they're thinking long-term. They're not expecting everything to be perfect, picture perfect right off the bat, right? And so since they're not going anywhere, maybe this will allow you to really work through your anxieties, work through your emotions with things, and to really realize that not everyone's going to leave you in your life, right? If we're going with that narrative of abandonment issues. So I like this. This is such a good week for you, Aquarius, where it's like, yeah, things are chaotic, but it's like, things are chaotic, but you're protected all around it. You know, it's like one of those things where, maybe, I can't think of like a grim example, but it's just like a hurricane like hits every house but yours. Like yours is just in perfect condition while everyone else is just in chaos, right? And so it's just like, yeah, it's chaotic, it's hectic, but you're still being watched over. This is still just like the kind of like, this is such a conducive environment, it seems, for you, Aquarius, to work on yourself. The energy between this connection, funnily enough, I'm just now looking at it, is the Knight of Swords coming in twice for you, Aquarius. So what is this telling me? This is just the Knight of Swords. Swords always is dealing with mental energy that's going on up here. And so anytime I see swords energy, a lot of sword cards rather, I always will kind of like, I am aware that this person, whoever this person is, since it is the overall energy, like, it seems to be on like both sides. So maybe for some of you Aquariuses, there's been like some type of misunderstanding when it comes to your person, because it does seem to be where there's like some type of anxiety, mental struggle as like the overall energy. So it's not just on your side. So what I would say, Aquarius, is especially when you have these Knight of Swords, I feel like both you guys in the situation are the Knight of Swords, and that's why it comes in twice. I would say, you know, if you're actively communicating with this person, Aquarius, this is where you kind of just say, it's like, hey, I'm a Knight of Swords, you're a Knight of Swords, you know, which basically just means I'm new at this, you're new at this, I don't know what's right, I don't know what's wrong, let's just talk it out, right? Let's like take off the masks, right? Take off the helmet, take off the armor, and let's talk this out, because they're here to stay, Aquarius. So if that was like your fear and feeling like you wouldn't be able to communicate with them because you weren't sure if like they're there for long term, even if you like consciously had those thoughts or not, right? Because when you have abandonment issues, even if you like think that you don't have any issues to work on, or like you think that you don't have abandonment issues in some type of capacity, that right? I don't know. I feel as if like, especially for most people, when you experience abandonment issues and then it's not firstly addressed, it starts coming out in ways that you just wouldn't anticipate, or where it's just like you start overreacting over like the seemingly like the smallest things. And maybe that's what happened in the situation this week, Aquarius. And that's why there's just like this overall anxiety when it comes to this connection, because it just seems as if some type of miscommunication, which definitely seems like to be like some type of theme, miscommunication, or people just not on the same wavelength, you know? I feel like if you guys were on the same page, you guys would be perfectly fine. And so what I'm getting from this overall, Aquarius, is to yeah, just, I mean, I guess you could do that, say that for any type of love reading, right, Aquarius? Where it's just like leave everything out on the table and then let fate decide, right? But especially in this case, I feel like it's kind of relevant just because it's like, it seems like they're going through the same thing, and like what you're fearing most is something that they would never do to you, it seems, right? Now, let's just like go with worst case scenario of being like, you let everything out on the table and they don't receive you, then you kind of know that this wasn't the energy, like, that this wasn't the person that is meant for you. Because this energy here, this person wants to do long term with you. This person wants to invest a lot of energy towards you. So wrapping all that up, Aquarius, to summarize this reading, it seems to be whatever your biggest fear is, like this person is like, you know, we're using the example of abandonment issues. This person's not going to, like this person here that I'm tapping into isn't going to abandon you, Aquarius. This person here is here to stay and here to help see you grow, see themselves grow, see this connection grow. So you don't need to have so much anxiety over this. You can work through those abandonment issues or whatever issue that is for you. Obviously, it doesn't have to be abandonment issues, Aquarius. You know, it's safe for you to work through this pain. It's safe for you to grow from this. This is a very conducive environment for you to grow, because at the end of the day, Aquarius, both you guys are Knight of Swords. Both you guys are new at this. Both you guys are fumbling at this, right? No one knows the perfect answer. No one knows, like, there's no manual when it comes to life. There's no specific direction and when it comes to matters of the heart, right? And so what I'm getting from this, if you are in communication with them, Aquarius, like, you know, it seems to be like just a simple miscommunication, or both you guys just having like all your armor on. And if you guys were to just be vulnerable and like challenge your own vulnerability with each other a little bit more, you would realize just how similar you guys are, and that, you know, you're new at this. And from that would just really inspire such beautiful growth, because I feel like this has like, what this spread in of itself, Aquarius, shows like really good long-term potential. It shows to me two beautiful souls who just want to make it through in this world. And, you know, it's just a really good energy. And so yeah, I'm going to close off this reading for you, Aquarius, but overall, let me know how this connection goes for y'all this week. I'm really excited to hear about it. You do like my reading style at all, be sure to give me a like and subscribe, and share my videos with someone that you think might enjoy my reading style. But until next time, Aquarius, I love you so much. Bye. Also, my cat came in. She didn't come in to say goodbye, but now she does. She's paying that rent, y'all. Bye, Aquarius.